Hello! We're doing a podcast. It's a thing. So this is something I've wanted to do like a long, long time ago. Just something that sort of is a way for us to talk about what's going on in life and things like that, and for people to join in, especially on the chat. So if you are watching, you can get onto the chat and put in your messages, and we will actually use that as part of our conversation to make things more interesting. Anyway, it's me. It's Everstone Evie. I'm here with. There was a bit of a delay. Hi, Haz. It's great to see you here. And we're here with one other special guest, because the idea is we're going to have a special guest every month. We have... Huell! Love the ears, yeah. I like my little Evie ears. So the point of this sort of chat is we're going to talk about things that are going off in our own personal lives and also what big news is going on at the moment. And we had got a topic already. Is Ferret muted? No. Ferret, do you want to talk? Make sure you're coming through. Oh. Wait. This is a thing I always do wrong. Sorry, it's my fault. Well, processional strem. If you guys wait just a moment, I will sort it out. Just a second, and you'll be able to hear everybody wonderfully clear. And it's something I always forget to do every time I do this. It's such a pain. Right, now talk. You should all be able to hear him.
Hello?
Stream.
And me.
There we go. Stream had a bit of a glitch, but it should be all fine now.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we can hear us now.
Yeah.
That's good. Hey folks, sorry about that. Slight
Wonderful.
technical difficulties.
Okay, sorry. Now we can hear everybody. So where I was going to go with the whole conversation I was going for is one of the things we want to talk about before we go into any personal topics is world topics. We had got something lined up, which we will talk about, but something's come out on British news today that is massively important and a huge step forward in something that's been going on for 13 years now. And we thought we'd just quickly mention it. They believe they found Madeleine McCann's killer.
Crazy. It's like, it's bonkers. It's mad.
I wonder what evidence leads them to that conclusion.
Well, apparently there was this, was it like a camper van, an RV or something like that? Sort of like an orange and white little van thing that happened to be in the area at the same time. Yeah, it really has.
Oh!
Yeah.
And they were driving around, but also the suspicious thing is he had another vehicle, and the following day after Maddie McCann's disappearance, he changed the registration to someone else's name.
Oh!
They found their registration, I'm guessing.
They found the car, they found everything to do with it. He's already in prison for sex offences, so that does unfortunately mean what did happen, he probably did something a bit more to Maddie. He lives in Germany.
Oh, God.
Yeah, and he just popped to Portugal on holiday, and it's a potential that he did it. It's still under investigation, there's no guarantee, but it is literally the top of the BBC News. I'll see if I can show you guys quickly, so you can see that I'm not making things up. It is, there's Maddie's lovely little picture there, right at the top of BBC News.
You're going to show it to the wrong camera there.
Yep. That's another
you might need to explain. Yeah, you might need to explain that real quick before people get confused with what you're doing.
I have two cameras. They're seeing me on one, and you guys are seeing me on another. It's confusing as hell. He's not. He's not fessed up to anything yet at all, Mark. It's still up in the air. But I just thought it would be amiss if we didn't mention it, with it being such headline news today, and it possibly being the end of the Madeleine McCann story.
I mean, it might be, it might not. But the thing is, we all know that the story's just been going on and off for 13 years. And there's been many different stuff mentioned, like they've got leads or they haven't got leads, or they believe that she's dead, but they believe that she's alive. So it's very contradictory at this point. So whether this is an actual true thing that's going on.
We can only live in hope.
We can only just hope and pray for for Madeleine McCann and her parents, so they can get a bit of more closure and whatnot.
Yeah. And
sorry.
After all these, I was just going to say, after all these years of the whole suspicion around her disappearance, and then her parents were getting a lot of crap from people saying that they were involved.
I was literally just going to mention that everybody still thought it was her parents.
Yeah, I thought it was her parents, which is unfair on like the two parents that have lost their daughter, for God's sake.
I think the reason people are possibly saying that is the amount of money that Mrs. McCann, I can't remember her name, has made out of this with the books and her, portrayals on the media and stuff. I mean, I work with the media, I do my activism, and I get paid to just be on television, so they're making money every time they walk on there. And yeah,
not a lot. That's the point.
Yeah, don't excuse the fact they did leave their daughter alone.
Yeah, I was going to say that as well. To be honest, that they did leave her alone long enough for her to go missing. So it's like people have the right to be mad about that.
They were having drinks with another family, weren't they? I mean, why couldn't they do that on their balcony or something?
Yeah, that's what a lot of people are saying as well. It's just like, why couldn't they do that in a sort of their own private area, in their own little area that they could keep an eye on Madeleine, but obviously it didn't cross their minds. So, and then all this shit happened. Sorry, am I allowed to swear in this? I'm probably going to swear a fair bit.
Fine, I don't mind. Don't think there's any particular consensus on swearing at the moment.
Yeah, we're all adults here.
Yeah, no.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, that isn't the main topic of conversation for the news thing. It's just because it's happened today. Main topic of conversation, and I'm very interested to see everybody's point of view on this, is obviously the Black Lives. It's the Black Lives Matter protests in America. As most of you probably know, George Floyd was held to the ground by a knee on his throat by a police officer and was murdered by doing so. Consensus on whether it's actually murder or not, I'm calling it murder. There's my point of view already for you.
It wasn't manslaughter because it wasn't done accidentally. It was done with intent to harm the guy, as it was viewed in the video. So.
And that's led to multiple protests that's been going on for over a week now in America and riots subsequently. The only bit I need to sort of give you guys as information, obviously, Donald Trump has mobilized troops, despite some of the more military chiefs saying that they're not willing to do so, and he has allowed them to use force, not lethal force, but force against protesters. So I think the first thing to do is just to ask your opinions about it. So what do you think?
Straight off the bat, lethal force. Like, have you seen what the damage that the rubber bullets have done to people? It's saying non-lethal force. Like, those rubber bullets have very badly injured a lot of people. My God.
They do a lot of damage.
Because the people get shot in the face with those, and they get bad concussions. Their faces get messed up, blood everywhere. And it's unjustified. The videos I've seen is entirely unjustified as well. There are some people that they get shot just because they're just standing there. There's a video of two people that were just standing in the street talking to each other in front of the police line. They were just standing there talking to each other.
So terrifying.
I've seen that one.
They got shot.
Yeah, it's so terrifying. You're watching them with their hands up, going, "Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Don't shoot!"
And they still do it.
Yeah.
There's a guy that got pepper sprayed. I saw another clip. Guy that he was. I think it's fair enough to yell at the police in this case to say, "Screw you! You guys are killing people."
But I know it sounds.
This guy. Sorry, I just want to finish my point where he got pepper sprayed, and then when he got pepper sprayed, when he was about to turn back around, obviously not being able to see because pepper spray, the police shot a tear gas canister right into his face. It hit his face, full force.
I know.
Yeah.
I was just reading the post that we're getting. So the protests were originally for justice, obviously. Now they're trying to hold the police in the US accountable for their misconduct, which makes sense to me. It's dreadful, some of the videos I've seen. They're less than lethal, so pretty much as bad as they can do as long as it doesn't kill you. So, I mean, I agree with you too, but anybody got a differing opinion?
Well, the thing is, these two have been waiting for my opinion for a bit since we decided to do this, but I have so many mixed opinions on in the entire situation.
Same.
Like, I can agree with everyone saying that I'm all for the Black Lives Matter thing. I'm totally behind it, but at the same time, the entire situation is just fucked up to all hell. It's so crazy. But the thing is, like I agree that the police, most of the police that are taking charge of these riots, a lot of them are just so vicious. I've seen quite a few videos of them being riled up to actually do this. There was actually one video that I saw where there was some cops being on the front lines to stop the peaceful rioters, And like, I'm not even kidding. One of them or two of them were literally pumping themselves up, like getting themselves all pumped and like ready to go. They looked like they were eager to like get it started and all that. And I was like, what the frick? But at the same time, there's that. But at the same time, it's like I feel like there's faults on both sides at the moment as the week progresses. Like, yeah, the cops have done so many lethal things, and yeah, they've done things that have almost like unhuman. But at the same time, there was a video that I've seen where protesters, where they're not really protesters at all, literally started burning stuff outside somewhere, probably underneath a bridge or something. They set fire to a mattress that was that belonged to a homeless person.
I've seen that one.
No, yeah. I mean, I fully agree with you there. There's no reason for rioters, and even Mark says that stop the rioters, believe the protesters alone.
Well, that's a good point from Mark. There's one video where there's police officers that will speak to the protesters. They will speak to them, and then like there's one good advice, but I find it would be hard to separate themselves. But like the police officer was saying, like, okay, I know that you guys are the protesters, but the reason why we have to use so much force is because there is rioting, and we can't tell the difference because they're all in plain clothes. We can't tell the difference between you. It's very, very difficult.
No, I'm sorry. It's very easy
to do
so.
Having.
I'm sorry.
It's not though, because they're all mixed together in the same clothing.
I get that, but I mean, if someone's trying to burn a car on fire, they're not going to be the same person as someone who's holding a placard.
That's true.
Yeah, but when they're all in one big group,
I know.
It's when they're all mixed together, it's really difficult to tell the difference. I can understand the difficulties they're from, but again, I don't know.
There's no excuse.
It's difficult to have it.
Mark said it. This is what I was going to say. You've seen videos of the protesters stopping the rioters. There's been loads of videos of that. I saw a fantastic one of somebody. I don't know what he was doing. He had like a hammer and chisel, and he was just breaking down a pavement for some weird reason. And all the protesters jammed on him, dragged him all the way to the police, and said, "Arrest him!"
Into the police. Yeah, I've seen that one.
And
that one's good.
He pulled. Yeah, and fair enough. The police. This guy had also pulled one of the normal protesters who was dragging him with him. The police obviously just pounced on whoever came through, and then they went, "Oh wait, hang on, he was helping," and they just pushed him back and said, "Oh yeah, sorry about that," and carried on. Great.
And, Liam's right as well. There are cops who are targeting peaceful protesters. That is true.
Yeah, sorry.
That is also true.
And
I was just
also, Liam made another good point. Sorry, the Liam said something else earlier as well. There are videos of cops that join the protests. They would go into the parades. They go towards them. There's one video of there's one police officer that kneeled down in front of the protesters, joining them, and then his cop buddies came. Well, I wouldn't really call them buddies now, colleagues even at this point, considering what they did. They picked him up and they dragged him back.
Yeah,
after he kneeled with the protesters.
There's a fantastic video I saw today of I think it's some sort of army general, and he was standing there addressing the protesting crowd, and he said, "We've all heard you, and you want us all to step back so you can peacefully protest. So that's exactly what we're going to do, and we're only going to intervene if it's necessary." And they all just stand back completely, and they just let him protest. And it was brilliant, because as soon as he said it, all these people came up and just gave him a massive hug and said, "Thank you for listening to us." And that's the right side of things. The wrong side of things, I saw a peaceful protest, and it was definitely a peaceful protest. There was no reason for force at all. There were a few police with riot gear in, which I don't blame them for having, because things can escalate, so I don't mind them wearing a riot gear. But it was so little amount of police there, because they knew it wasn't going to be anything more. And then all of a sudden, a police car pulls up, a guy comes out with a gun and starts shooting rubber bullets at people for no reason. They were just standing there. They were just protesting peacefully. This was prior to the curfew as well, so there was literally no reason for it.
Well, Mark actually brought something else. Attacking the press, but there are police attacking the press, arresting the press. There's one guy that was on the floor, a reporter on the floor, and he was telling them, "I'm press. Don't please don't attack me. I'm press. I'm not protesting. I'm press." And then they just walked past him and they just sprayed him. He was already lying on the floor, and they sprayed him with pepper spray. Yeah. Completely unnecessary, completely excessive. Not only that, they've been attacking when there's medics. There's nurses and doctors that have gone there to help people who are being injured. And there's a video from one nurse, and she was, bless her heart, she was trying so hard. She was with a guy who had been shot with a rubber bullet, and he was badly injured. I can't remember what his problem. I think he got his leg or something. Like he was bleeding heavily, and she was trying to help him. And then all of a sudden, the cops were starting to march forward, and they started shooting at them. Even though he was already on the floor, she was trying to help him. And, she got really scared, which I don't blame her. Of course you're going to get scared if the cops are going to be shooting at you with stuff. So, and then the guy that was injured tried to pick up like a trash can lid, even though he was already injured, in pain, trying to protect her while she was helping him. It's horror. You live in a brothel. Sorry.
There's just so many
news to me.
There's just so many mixed people on both sides at the moment. You've got cops that are actually trying to do their best to actually, take control of the situation and not go over top. And then you've got cops that are like just literally abusing their power and then, just doing it because they can do it. They think they can do it just because they're like, they're the law. And then on the other side, you've got the protesters who are, just standing up for, equal rights and all that jazz. And then you've got rioters that are mingling in with those lot and trying to take advantage of the situation by burning up properties and like smashing up stuff. And like they're using that as an excuse to get their attention. It's like there's so many other ways you can get people's attention, and you don't need to smash up places because you're getting rid of people's jobs by doing that. Like people aren't going to have jobs to go to after this if the whole pandemic clears up and whatnot.
I saw an incredible video of a small family that owned I think it was a liquor store. Just outside it, holding weapons because it's America and they have weapons, let's face it. But as a deterrent, they weren't shooting or anything like that, but just to stop people from going in and rioting their store. And
I've heard stuff about this.
Yeah, the police turned up, and before they even had a chance to talk to them, they just arrested the people that were trying to protect the store.
Oh yeah, I've seen that as well. They arrested the people that owned it. Was this for the woman that was doing a news report and she was trying to tell them, no, they own the place?
Yeah, the news report was literally there going, no, they're protecting their store. They haven't done anything wrong. But they were there arresting them and just not listening. It was really weird.
Yeah, another point that I would actually wanted to bring across was, again, I'm all for Black Lives Matters and all that, but at the same time, everyone seems to be ignoring the whole fact that the pandemic is still going on. That is the one thing that kind of pisses me off a little bit, because we're trying to this is why I said I've got so many mixed opinions about it.
Yeah, it's
the whole situation is the whole situation is just messed up in general. But when I first heard about this, I'm just like, why are people going out in the streets, getting so close to each other? It's like I understand the protest, but you should be staying home, staying away from everyone, because the whole virus is still out, and that's just asking for a second wave of people contracting the virus. I mean, people up in England started catching up on this trend, and literally when they did this, more people got sick, more people started dying because of this.
It was the solidarity protests. I mean, I still get the necessity of protesting, but there's so much more you can do from home in Britain that would have so much of a larger effect than you would be able to do in America. And if anybody's watching, there will be some links at the end that have been provided by Lart and Apple, so you can actually help them if you wish to from home. Yeah.
What actually pisses me off a lot actually is the protests in the UK. I can understand a peaceful protest where they just march and they chant what they want. They say they have the demands or something, or they do the solidarity. But there are people out there. I don't think they're part of the protest. These are just opportunists. Some people just. It's the same for people looting and rioting.
It was the same.
In the UK, they're attacking British police officers.
I saw that this morning. I saw that this morning.
Yeah,
absolutely nothing. What have they done? It's what have they done? They haven't.
Also, shout out to John Boyega. Is that sarcasm? Because he said some absolute bullshit on Twitter yesterday.
Oh, I don't know about that. Do you want to elaborate?
No, he completely. He was just being a massive hypocrite. In my opinion.
I did see your post while he's looking it up. I did see your post, Martin, about them raiding and shotting an LGBT club on Pride Month. I wasn't even aware of that. That's apparently happened today.
What the hell?
Yeah. They
just saying
they attack. They've been shooting at people through their windows. They've been shooting at people that are already in their homes. They've been shooting through their windows.
Wait, cops have been doing that?
Thank you for the source, Liam. I will definitely look into that. I'll bring up my Twitch on my phone so I can look into it. I don't want to disturb anything on my computer.
The thing is, I've been ranting about this with other people, what has been going on recently, and it got to that point where literally all I could say about is, why can't people just, get along? Just stop. Just stop hurting each other. Just go home. Stay safe. All that jazz. Keep yourself safe.
It's such a strange thing because, sorry, I am paying attention. I look rude because I'm looking at my phone. It's just so I can get that source up when Liam sends it. It's such a weird thing because we've had these protests before. The Black Lives Matter protests, there's nothing new about this. Police have historically killed black people for really trivial matters. And that happens here in the UK as well as America. I just want to point that one out. It's a worldwide issue. But this is the first time where it's gotten to such a point where, I mean, we're, day 9 or something like that now, and it's still going on?
It really has blown out of proportion with this whole rioting and stuff. It's not controlled at all.
No.
It's just getting out of control for everyone at this point. Not even just police, but just everyone in general. And no one knows what's happening anymore.
No.
Because everyone's just bickering with each other. Just giving their opinions, and people are just bashing each other for having said opinions. Like, I mean, certain opinions, that end up looking racist. Yeah, I can understand why people would bash those opinions because fuck those people who think it's all right for black people to get shot up and all that jazz.
There's a lot of that.
I didn't see the Ben and Jerry's tweets, Mark. Feel free to tell us what that was.
Oh, Ben and Jerry. I saw something about that, but I can't remember what the tweet was word for word. I think.
Well, I'll give it. Fuel looks like it's going to catch them all.
I wish I could do an Ash voice impression.
I think next time I do this, I'm going to have my tablet open and just
I don't know, something like that.
No, I could. Yeah.
I can't get my voice that high, unfortunately.
Yeah, do you notice, but talking about this whole thing, do you notice how we go from one thing to the other where it's all circumstantial? This whole situation is so screwed up because there's people on all sides that are right and are wrong.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Have you seen what's been happening in Flint, Michigan during these protests?
I've seen so many states. It's all mixed into one for me. I don't know what states.
In the city of Flint, Michigan, what's been happening is that the protesters they've been protesting. They've been on public ground. They've been making their demands heard. But what is also nice is that police officers haven't been forming a wall. They haven't been trying to stop them. They have been in the crowds talking to people.
Brilliant.
In some places they do.
But that's what
in some places that stuff. That's exactly what should be happening.
Yeah, and just having an open conversation, saying, "Look, we can't trust the police anymore. There is racial discrimination. Can we talk about this? Can we sort this out?" Rather than just going, "We need to protest because there's no other way of you listening to me, and you're just going to shoot us with rubber bullets."
Yeah, Well, that's the issue. That adds to the issue because they're clearly not listening and they're trying their hardest to have their voices heard. And I feel for them.
Ben and Jerry's tweet is incredible. Thank you so much, Mark. It says, "The murder of George Floyd was the result of inhumane police brutality that's perpetuated by a culture of white supremacy. We must dismantle white supremacy." I
don't think it's the culture of white supremacy. I think it's not the culture of white supremacy. It's the politics, in my opinion. It's the system, not the culture. Because the culture itself, I think people tend to get along generally quite well. I don't know entirely. I don't live in America. I don't know. That's just my speculation. I think it's the system that is the problem there. It's the actual. It's
full of bigotry. It's full of
bigotry, but it's when you actually see videos of people interacting on the street, it's not like that. But when it's concerned with the courts, the judicial system, the police, all those kinds of things, that's where the problems are.
The higher powers, as such.
The higher powers. It's not necessarily societal. It's governmental.
It's also very strange, wonderfully in a weird way.
Sorry, not to say there aren't racist in just no. Sorry, not to say that.
Believe it or not, EastEnders has literally just touched upon this topic, and it wasn't time to talk because obviously they've had this thing where they're shortening how many episodes they have a week, so it's just by chance they've had a black character on there that has been completely and utterly been every 2 seconds he was arrested for doing nothing, and they had the whole thing where he got hold of some evidence that he wasn't supposed to show, and he showed the world because he needed people to know it was happening and this sort of thing. And it's just so weird how that is British culture and that's happening in Britain, and how much it mimics what's going on in America at the moment. Shows it's not just I need to check my Discord for a source from Liam.
But there was actually as Huell was mentioning stuff about the justice system, I actually saw something can't remember if it was yesterday or this morning. It was one of the two. It was something about the charges on the guy who actually did the murder.
Yeah.
And apparently it was brought up to second-degree murder. Apparently, but a lot of people. The thing is, when I read this, I was reading all the responses, and both they had two different sides. Some people were happy with the fact that the charges were moved up, but most people were like sickened at the fact that it wasn't put to first-degree murder.
Because he was, I think he was fully considering the video. I think he was fully aware of what he was doing. He was on the guy's neck.
I feel that argument was the fact that he was just doing his quote unquote, and I mean quote unquote, duty. We're having some issue with Huell's feed, so I do apologise about that.
Yeah,
hold on a second, I'll fix that.
Sorry, yeah, okay. That's why they're arguing it's second degree and not first degree. Though
I can understand that, but it was just amazing to me to the fact that literally no one can agree on anything at the moment. It's like I agree with the fact that I'm happy with the fact that the charge has been moved up. It would be better if he was charged with first degree murder, because literally he did it with intent to harm him.
Yeah. But
at the same time, it's like it's also annoying for how long this has taken for them to charge this guy.
I mean, I'm looking at Hannah's post there, and I'm not trying to argue. I'm trying to open a conversation. You're saying that the cop wasn't fully aware of what he's doing, and I can understand that in terms of him feeling like he's just doing his duty. But George was literally saying, "I can't breathe."
Yeah,
it's just
premeditated means like planned and stuff. Like that's the That's why there's a So like Liam makes a good point. It's not like he woke up that day and specifically thought, "I'm going to kill this specific black guy." I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's
not like that.
No, I saw a post from someone saying, "Oh my god, well, he was doing something illegal. That's why the police there in the first place." Do people know what he was actually doing? Because it was nothing.
I don't know.
There was nothing mentioned. Actually, there was nothing mentioned about him.
No, what happened was
something like this happens all the time, where they say that, "Oh no, we were chasing this guy who said criminal intent." It's like, but he wasn't. They were there. They were doing something.
They were there for a legitimate reason, but it wasn't really anything. Basically, what happened is he'd gone into a store and paid for whatever he'd purchased with a $20 note that the cashier thought was false, was a fake note.
Right.
So the police came to investigate, and it led to that. So there's no guarantee. They haven't said whether it was a fake 20 or not, but either way, it's not really worth what happened. So.
Jesus.
Right, I'm just reading what Larton and Margaret. Fair enough.
Yeah, it's definitely not first.
I'm not like disagreeing with anyone about it. I'm happy that the fact that the charges have been brought up for the guy, but at the same time, it's like.
Sorry to interrupt. I'm going to have to switch off my camera, completely mess up your layout for a couple of minutes.
It might possibly. It's all right at the moment. It's all right. That's fine for the layout for now. As long as it stays like that, we're okay.
Hannah, I totally agree. I totally agree that he does deserve it, but it's one of those things where it's still kind of annoying at the fact that it's taking so long for them to put charges on. They didn't have to go into this much time to investigate. They've got the proof.
No.
It's the video. But it's nice to see like people, different people's opinions on here, and everyone's like just getting along on here. So that's good. So
it's
thanks for that, people.
It's very interesting to see that majority of people have a similar attitude to the protesters. Even you, Luke. I think you had a differing opinion, but your opinion is mostly that the protests are necessary. So the
protests are necessary. Like I totally agree with the fact that people need to stand up, but they could have gone in a totally different way. That's the thing.
So for the people listening and watching, like, just before we did this, we agreed we wouldn't talk about this topic at all. But I had Luke literally sit there just going, "I don't know if you're going to agree with my point of view." So we're expecting him to come up and say, "Stop the protest, you're being arseholes." Like, so it's quite nice.
I can understand the stop the protest point. I think it's to stop the rioting and the looting. But again, it's not those protesters that are actually doing this. There's been videos, there's accusations that there's undercover cops and betas that are there trying to instigate the violence in order to make the protesters look bad.
But I think Hannah said it right. Like, it's not the police's fault at this point. It is the governments and the chief police commissioners and those above them that are telling them, yes, use non-lethal force. Yes, shoot people with pepper spray. Yeah, shoot people with rubber bullets. Like, just and they're just doing their duty. I mean, you'd have the same conversation with a soldier in the war. You know, they might have killed someone, but they were told to do so.
That's why I feel sorry for cops. That's why I said before, I feel sorry for cops that are actually, trying to do their job and not trying to just, abuse their power, because all the other cops that seem to, abuse their power and just shoot for no reason just make the rest of them look bad. And they've all been molded up into like one group for some reason, by media and all that. And it's sad to see that, because
it's also
there are cops out there that.
It's interesting to see that the media, because unfortunately control the mind, like whatever the media says is what happens. It's interesting to see that they're siding on the side of the protesters and not the police. Whereas historically, if we've seen any protests or any riots, including here in Britain and in America, it's been, well, the police need to quell this because it's becoming an issue. Now it's sort of sitting there going, they need to sort something out for this to stop, rather than the police doing what they're doing. And I don't know if that's going to have some sort of I hope it has some sort of lasting effect on everything that's going on, but I don't know if it will.
At the same time, though, there are some news stations in America, like you can see that people have recorded clips where there are people, there are field reporters out there. They're like, most of the protests have been entirely peaceful. And then once he said that, going against the narrative that the news station wanted to push, he got cut off when he was saying that, no, the violence isn't actually that bad, or they're not trying to get, because there's also proof that there's police that have been trying to instigate it, where there's people protest and then the police immediately arrive and start shooting and start arresting, just tackling people.
It's like Liam says, non-lethal force equals shooting rubber bullets in people's faces. Fucking sure. I'm sure there has been a few protesters who have died in the middle of all this. I haven't got sources, so I apologise if I'm.
There's a heartbreaking video of a little girl and her mother who had been like pushed into this. I don't know. I'm guessing into like the back of a truck or something, but it's heartbreaking because a mother is badly injured. Badly injured. This little girl, and she's like 5 or something. I don't know. She's really young, and then she was saying like, this little girl told the mother like, "I'll take care of you. You're going to be okay," kind of thing. She was only 5 or 6 years old. And unfortunately, the mother passed away in front of her, and the little girl wasn't even aware. It's freaking heartbreaking.
It's interesting to read Hannah's post there. She served a tour in Afghanistan. Very, very good, by the way. Very well done on protecting the country and everything. I was trained to kill people, endangering me or my friends and family. Cops are trained that way too, and no one will understand that unless you've been trained like that. I fully understand that, and it's not. I was
going to say I'm not aware of the feelings of experience, but from what I've read and from what I've seen in interviews, Xen has a point when you come to those kind of situations. It's in those kind of high adrenaline combat situations. From what I've read, the attitude is us versus them. It's not we're told to kill them. It's either they're going to kill us or we're going to kill them. Yeah. That's mainly the thing there.
I agree with Mark that they shouldn't be trained in a way that they should kill, but obviously they should be trained in a way that they defend themselves. And if they feel like they are under threat of that, they are going to defend themselves accordingly. That doesn't explain what happened to George Floyd, and that is the issue here. It was clear that man had no point at that point. I mean, regardless of what happened before, because someone did say we haven't seen, every single angle from the video as such.
Yeah. Which I agree.
Ignoring that, he was at a point where he was pinned to the ground. He couldn't move. They were happy to just arrest him and put him in the back of a van at that point, and that had been the end of it. Yeah. They didn't need to carry on like they did.
They didn't need to press down on his neck like that. They could have just, had 2 people holding him down.
The guidelines is that you put the knee on the shoulder, but he put it in the wrong place.
Yeah, he did put it on
very
much
the wrong
so.
Place. Jesus.
Yeah, he's literally choking.
Apparently, he had a heart condition as well, which obviously didn't help him. And then, the worst thing is if you actually if you see the video of him getting arrested, you can hear him, I can't breathe, and then one of the officers is like, that shit don't work with us, buddy.
So they're probably thinking it's just somebody who's constantly
trying to
get away. But I mean, if you were that officer, you'd know your knee was on his neck. I'm sorry. That's got a very different feeling to that.
He should be charged. But again, it's just defending, because there's all the cop buddies, they want to defend their friends, and that's when there's injustice happening. It's admirable that you defend your friends, but when you know that your friends have done something wrong, there's a line.
That's different.
Because I trust you guys. I trust Liam. I trust my friends. If I'm doing something dumb, if I'm saying something dumb, I trust you to call me out on my bullshit. And I might stand my ground, but I trust that you guys will, tell me when I'm being stupid.
It's most of the time. Don't worry about it.
I think we all have those moments, to be honest.
So space, we did touch upon this as well, that, you know, some people are there just to protest. They're protesting for the sake of protesting, and there's no point putting stuff on fire. Yeah, there are people who are pushing this into the leads of riots, and they're taking advantage of the situation, which is
opportunists, as we've said. They're literally just taking advantage of the whole situation just so they can, you know, break shit and damage stuff and and hurt people.
But I think
that video of those rioters like burning up that homeless person's mattress, that really got to me when I saw that.
But then at that point,
I was like, why do that?
Because they want to see the world burn. That's all it is. They just
it's
feel
just
like they have a reason.
Some people like they call them LARPers. Some people are like, oh yeah, communist revolution, and they go out and they try and burn stuff and try and like stop. You're not helping. This is not what we need. This is not what America. It's not what America needs. America needs therapy or something. I don't know what they need.
Did anybody hear? Did anybody hear Trump's address to chief policers?
No.
No.
He basically said that if you can't, he was urging all the police chiefs and the state governors of each individual state to just take more aggressive action against the protesters in order to. So this is something that's going all the way to the top, and it is something that you know, the president of the United States is even saying we're doing the right thing by shooting rubber bullets in people's faces.
Of course, Trump's going to say that.
Yeah.
Of course, he's going to say
we
that.
have the best rubber bullets. We have the best caps, the best rubber bullets with the best aim.
You know, I don't understand why they couldn't. They could have used the beanbags instead of rubber bullets.
Holy shit! Sorry, I just read what Liam said.
Yeah, I know. I'm going through them slowly. I do apologize if we're missing some of your chat. You guys are very, very active, which is brilliant.
Yeah,
and we're loving it. So carry on. But sorry if we're missing.
Isn't that illegal? But then I realised, like, they're the cops. What can normal people do? And then they're like prosecutors and attorneys. They will be on the cops' side half the time. It's Jesus. If they did that in the UK, they would be in trouble. If they covered their badge and people saw videos of it, the cops in the UK would be in massive trouble. But even then, in the UK, we're having kind of similar problems where cops are abusing their power.
But it's interesting to see what Hannah said. You know, there's a fine line between getting killed or you killing an aggressive protester. It's such a fine line. And I can fully understand that. If you feel your life is at danger and that is the only way out of it, which is very much is the case for a lot of these police officers, I can see why they may be leading towards that way, may have a more aggressive action. But it's the ones that are confusing us are the people that are clearly having peaceful protests and the police are coming in and antagonizing them for no reason whatsoever. That's what I don't understand. There was this old... I don't know if you've seen the one with the old man.
They just push him. They just push them. Yeah.
He's got a walking stick. He's that old. He's standing at a bus stop. I don't know why he's standing at a bus stop in the middle of all that. But ignoring that, and this riot policeman just pushes him right to the floor. I don't know if that guy can get back up on his own.
They apparently, after the video was stopped recorded, they let him. They picked him back up. But it's like, why attack? Which is fair enough. But why attack an old man in the first place? Who's clearly not there for protesting. He's an old man. What's he gonna do to you? You fucking psychopaths.
I think probably the most that you could do is just lecture them. But at the same time, that's not going to do any harm, is it? It's not using your fists or throwing shit in.
Liam, you are not overdoing it. I don't have anything set up to look at those links very easily, so I apologise. I think these two are doing so more than I am, but next stream, now I know this is how things are happening, definitely going to make sure I have my tablet or something at hand. I just want to go up through the chat because there's been a lot that we've missed quickly. Apparently beanbags are worse than the rubber bullets. I'm not too sure, personally. We use beanbags as a deterrent for rioters and protesters here in the UK, and maybe we don't use them as often as what's happened here, so I know it's an extreme case scenario to look at both two separately. But it's a larger object rather than one individual. But I guess if the beanbag did burst and it was being pushed at a large rate, maybe. I don't know.
I've heard that they hurt, but I don't know, like, would they be a better option than rubber bullets, or do they actually kill? Do beanbags actually cause death to
I don't think
anyone that gets shot with them?
At least hasn't in Britain. Because
I know it's brutal. I know I've seen people get shot with them. Like the only reason I know this is because of Jackass. I know that's totally not a serious thing to say, but I've seen one of the members of Jackass being shot with a beanbag, and it did a lot of bruising. but he lived.
But probably no more than you'd expect from paintball. I'd expect. You end up with bruises.
I've never played paintball. I'd love to play paintball, but I'm also kind of scared of
upcoming stream, guys.
Paintballing is fun.
I would love to do paintballing, but we can't do that at the moment. Obviously, we can't do that at the moment for reasons.
No. Oh no, we can. We can stand 2 meters apart and just try and shoot each other. It'd be fun.
Well, yeah.
No, you don't know. Trust me. It's fun to paintball, but it's not fun to get hit by one.
No, I'm sure.
No, I've heard.
Right.
Also, having the state of adrenaline that you're in, of course, having that tunnel vision, trying to get out of that, I get that, but surely they're trained, even in intense situations like that, to differentiate between rioters and peaceful protesters. That's just my thought process of this. Rubber bullets isn't that they aren't meant to shoot straight at people. Same with beanbags, meant to bounce off a surface.
No, they're still shooting directly at me.
I just saw a comment from Mark. Forget paintball, do airsoft.
Yeah, BB pellets are definitely much better.
Hello. Are you dying?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to introduce you all to Huell's cam here, where he's just busy looking at a bumblebee.
I don't know. Sorry. Yeah, sorry. No, I was just going to close the window. There's a lot of noise, and I don't want it to. Sorry, I just found a bumblebee, and now he's.
What's this like? Excuse me. All you can see is him just going. Excuse me, you dying.
I'm so British. I speak very politely to. Well, I'm not going to close the window now because he's there.
I mean, I like bumblebees as much as the next person, but
I mean, it's just.
I love bumblebees.
I love bumblebees as well. They're adorable. But...
I love it when we get to the audio podcast and someone just hears this blinds going shh, shh, and they're like, "What?"
Sorry, I'm really, really sorry.
Oh my god! If someone actually did an animation of that bit, that would be brilliant. I hope people do animation.
Sorry, sorry about that. I wasn't expecting that because of freaking. Yeah. Okay, he's up. I'll leave him. Sorry, I completely took the wind out of the sails there. Okay, so
I'm waiting for that bumblebee to start buzzing around Huell now.
Fine, you can buzz
anyway, training means nothing when you're in a life or death situation. It goes back to that clip I saw of that extraordinarily peaceful protest, and I mean, I've not seen it being that quiet at all. And the riot police standing there, nothing wrong. They were getting a bit of antagonisation from the crowd, just saying, why are you in riot gear? Again, I fully understand why they are, but we won't go into that one. And then just that officer just coming out of nowhere, holding a gun and just start shooting for no reason. That isn't adrenaline led at that point, because there was nothing to antagonise him to that point.
Like these protesters, they don't have weapons.
No.
They clearly don't have weapons. They have signs. They very obviously don't know. And I understand that it's in a crowded place like that, it's difficult to tell when someone does have a weapon. There is a video of a guy that pulled out a gun and pointed it at a police officer in the middle of a street, and immediately when the cop pulled out his own gun, the guy dropped it. It's really hard to tell in a big crowd, sure, but it's like it is a peaceful protest, and nobody had attacked anybody at that point. And then when the police officer is the first person to instigate, when there's nothing that's happened beforehand, that's the fine line.
Surely, in a country which they promote free speech, they'd have some level of training on protests.
Yeah,
and even riots, you know.
I mean, 13 weeks of training is not enough. Sorry.
I agree with that. Yeah, I know. Mark did say it was only 13 weeks of training, which isn't enough, but. No, obviously you can't justify all the... I do like where you're coming from, Hannah, though. You are shedding a lot of lights, and it is the biggest issue in all of this is not the police, it's the people above the police that are telling people to do things.
Absolutely.
Huell found a squirrel.
People's hands up down.
I'm waiting for him just to go, squirrel! Never mind.
Oh,
there are
okay.
also cops looking... Oh,
I don't know if you have a source on that, Liam.
That's old-fashioned incrimination right there. That's some 50s gangster stuff. Holy crap.
I don't know if you have a source on that, and that would be something, if you could source it, it's worth sourcing.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
Obviously that's a very sensitive subject. But yeah, if they are forcibly putting weapons into people's hands after they've been downed, then we need to look at things a bit differently as well.
I just know what Mark just said in the chat. Give it CPR.
BCPR. BPR.
BPR.
That's the thing. I don't know where he is.
Yeah, no worries, Lawton. But I think that will bring us to the end of this conversation, because, my God, we could go on with this all day, but we don't.
Yeah, we could.
We could.
The next topic is supposed to be Huell's topic, but again, I think he's more interested in that.
In the bee.
Gosh, can I be right back though? Just to be annoying, can I be right back? I am sorry about this. I'm just gonna go to the top.
We'll continue talking about what we're talking about.
He says he's going to go to the toilet, but he's probably going to go find that bee.
Yeah, find some CPR paddles for the bee.
Fine. Anyway,
he's really tiny. They're going to be like on his fingertips for him just to go.
Full on his smoke breaks. Be right back.
I want to go pee.
Oh, that was terrible. Be right back.
Jesus Christ. Well, Huell's
Mark, you're lucky that we love you.
So anybody watching, if you want to be part of the show, you can be a guest on. We're going to be trying to do this monthly because busy lives and stuff. But you can be a part of it. You just have to be on Huell's house, which everybody I think is watching at the moment is. Just contact us and say you want to be a guest on the show, you want to talk about things, you're more than welcome to. But if you want to be on today's show, there's still a chance. Not on webcam, sorry. But if you send an email to... Hang on, let me just send out the email code to here. With any issue or life problem you have at the moment, we will quite possibly actually talk about it on the show. But obviously, as well, if you're interested in any more things to do with Black Lives Matter and helping them in any way you can from home, these are the sources that... sorry, it's because I'm typing. That Larton Apple did source for us. So thank you, Larton, for all that.
Yeah, thanks again for that, Larton.
You going to the toilet just means I'm going for a smoke? Yeah, probably. He needs to learn to smoke and drink. Yeah, just trying to help that bee. He's probably going to come back with sugar water or something now. Just wait.
Yeah.
I mean, bees are important for our ecosystem, I suppose. But,
well, they are.
You know, he chooses his time, doesn't he? Jesus Christ. Yeah, thank you, Larn. Like, he said there's some fantastic things you can do. You can donate towards people who've been wrongly arrested on there, or if you aren't particularly money friendly, you can just send out petitions and help petitions that are going on. And we are back with Huell.
Yes, you are. Hello.
He's back.
Bee lives matter. Yes, of course, bee lives matter.
Bee lives matter.
What are you talking about, Mark?
Jesus Christ.
Of course they matter. Of course, bee lives matter.
Yeah, you're more than happy to join in the future, Hannah. But what we like to do with our guest is, if there's any problems going in their lives or their friend's life or something they want to talk about in their past, they have an opportunity to do so, and then we will discuss it for the next 45 minutes. So, Huell, take it away.
All right. Well, the main thing I wanted to talk about was the whole thing of self-image, how people see themselves, and I definitely have a problem with that kind of thing. Where I don't really hold my own looks to a high regard.
You're not an ugly person or anything. You know, you are an attractive man.
That's the thing. You can say, what the hell was that noise? Sorry, it's just random noises. I understand. I understand when people tell me that, but it's the case of believing them, and then what my thoughts of myself are, basically. Because there's it's when people say stuff like that to me, Stace, it's a case of where I don't actually believe them.
I mean, it's an issue with me, and it's quite obvious with me for those people who know I'm transgender, and obviously understanding that I look a certain way compared to how I feel and things is not easy. Even going on webcam takes me a lot to do so. When we've been setting all this up, Luke's been seeing my webcam being pointed towards nothing, just so as we're setting up, just so I'm setting it up, so he doesn't see me because I have that issue of seeing him. And I understand what you mean by when people say that word. And I know this is an extreme scenario, but this is the kind of place we talk about it. I was having some non-procreative sex with somebody, and halfway through, she'd been doing something, and she turned around, she went, "You're so beautiful," and I literally stopped doing it then. It put me off that much that she said that. I just couldn't accept it. Because I find myself, the only way I can cope with who I am is to say, I'm not attractive at the moment, and it may be someday. But that might be more of a transgender thing, not necessarily something like Huell's going through, which is just, I guess, some sort of anxiety or some sort of discomfort with your own self.
I mean, there's a couple of things that factor into it. Like, I've never thought that, as a kid, I was always like, some people did call me ugly, but as a kid as well, like, I never felt like anybody would think that I was attractive. I guess, like older kid, like early teenage years, right? When those kind of thoughts get into your head about how you're perceived. And then they like some people did call me ugly. I was fat at the time, so that's another.
You
thing.
have lost a lot of weight.
Yeah.
One thing that
plays you.
It's worth mentioning about you is you are one of these big built people, and I don't mean that as in weight. I mean just how broad your shoulders are and how you stand. It's just how you are. You look like a big person, not weight, just big. You're basically that very well and fit bouncer that you have on the door when you go into a nightclub. You're not chunky. That's not what I'm saying.
I'm in Team Chunk. Don't lie to me. I'm in Team Chunk.
I can see him as a bouncer now for some reason. I could just see him just standing out, just being like his hands on his hips, and then if someone starts giving him grief, I could just see him just go away, and just backhand them.
I'm too nice to be a bouncer. I'm too polite. I couldn't do that, but no, it's but in school and stuff, it was back when you started thinking about stuff like that, I was kind of scared of starting to date people on rejection because I was always regarded, especially in primary school as well, I was always regarded as the weird kid because I'm not exactly normal nowadays, and I'm not.
That's why you became friends with me.
I mean, is anyone normal these days? Is normal a thing anymore?
I guess not. I understand that Hannah being overweight doesn't mean that. I understand that. It's just at the time. At the time, back when we're practically the same age, aren't we? Hannah? You're 28? Yeah, there's pointless for me to say what I was about to say. I guess in the UK at the time, I don't know, fat wasn't considered particularly appealing, especially for my size. Because my God, I was a big guy, very big guy back then.
No, I was pretty big myself.
I was about to say a fantastic another little transformation has been, ferret, which plays it almost that way.
Yeah. I used to be 16 stone at one point.
The weird thing for me is when people are losing weight, if it's someone like Huell, I'd probably not notice, and I know that sounds horrible, but it's because we see each other more regularly than most.
Yeah, true.
But when it comes to ferret, I saw you when I went to get this lovely tattoo that I can't show on screen because it's a weird angle.
When I saw you again after your weight loss, I was in shock.
Yeah.
My God.
We sat down for a spoon to have a meal just as a catch-up. And I remember just sitting there going, who the fuck is this? Your transformation was massive. And, fair play to you for doing so. But
thank you.
I wonder if that was self-image led or whether it was just health led or...
It was kind of the mixture of both because there was so many points where I tried to get fit and healthy and try and change my image, but nothing was working out for me. And every now and then, even my own mum had to try and give me a good kick in the ass to get myself motivated to do more exercising. Eventually, she was just like, you know what? Considering you want to be so serious about this, and I was at the time. When I was starting to lose weight, she's like, join me on Weight Watchers. So literally when I started joining Weight Watchers, that's when everything began to change. And I was dreading the entire journey of trying to lose weight. And over time I got used to the process. And then there was a point where one of my aunts was like, you could join me on this little workout session that I do every now and then. So I started joining that, which is basically we sort of do a circuit. You remember back in PE or gym, where you do an exercise for a certain amount of time, and then once the time's up, you switch to another one, and then so on and so forth, and you do an entire. It's basically that.
I had to do that. I started doing physiotherapy. That's to do a certain.
Yeah, so I started doing that for a few months, and there was a point where I literally in about a year. It actually didn't take me that long to lose all the weight, surprisingly. Probably in less than a year, I managed to get myself from 16 stone to 12 stone 7.
I mean, it's incredible. I get to this point. I am overweight according to doctors, but I'm not a particularly overweight person. I do have a little bit of a issue about my belly, but it's not too bad.
I mean, we all have a belly. We all have a bit of belly.
Wait until you get a handful of Huell.
But I've gotten to the point where I've gone, I'm going to go do exercise. I'm going to go and get healthy and fit, and I don't know. It's hard work. I just can't seem to.
It does require a lot of enthusiasm to try and get yourself started. But once you've started a particular routine, you sort of you sort of ease into it a little bit. It's like at the moment, considering I can't actually leave the house due to the fact that I'm labelled as a high risk person, because I've got asthma. Literally, once my boss found out that I had asthma, he was like, "No, you're staying home, and we're paying you to stay home now for the next few months." Which I was like, "Okay." Nice. At the time, I thought it was sound, but considering I can't go out, I started gaining a bit more weight. I'm back to 13.
Name me the one person who's gotten healthier during this. Jesus Christ, nobody's gotten healthier. They've gotten worse.
I've actually lost weight, surprisingly.
Oh, you said you had.
Yeah, you were saying that at some point. That since the whole pandemic.
I've been going out walking every day. I've been doing like a half hour, once a day. I get exercises. I go down the road, like a nice big country road.
I often get phone calls from him when he's halfway through his walk and just like, I just want to talk about crap. All right, yeah, okay.
That's pretty much exactly it. But yeah, no, I'm not eating as much as I used to. I go walking more. I do more stuff outside. I'm doing more work outside from the garden. I've been doing a lot of that, during the whole lockdown. So I've been I'm still close to 19 stone though.
Gosh.
And also, Liam, I would, but how would that work out when you're in Germany?
I believe you can call, since we're not fully out of the European Union yet, you can still call European countries for free on your phone.
Oh, I can? I didn't know that.
I believe that's the case. Liam, you should know more than this than us, so let us know. I just want to point out with all this exercise and stuff, if you are overweight and you are comfortable with that, fucking go for it. We're not saying you need to, because I know we're all saying, we could do with losing a bit of weight and stuff. I just saw Mark saying, oh God, I do have a belly, and I just thought, oh no, I feel bad. If you're happy with the little belly you've got, then go for it.
Yeah. It's like I said before, everyone has a bit of belly. There's no shame in it. It's just I think back to what Larton told me back in college when I was when I was still 16 stone and trying to change my diet, but it never worked out. He said, "It's not fat, it's love," and I've kept that in my mind ever since he's told me that, and I still think about it now and then. So thanks for that, Larton, for telling me that all those years ago.
I'm loving these comments. Sorry.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I got a belly too. That shit claps when I walk.
More cushion, that's it.
More cushion for the cushion. It's not fat.
Precisely. More cushion.
There's a culture of fat shaming, obviously, but we're not saying that.
Yeah.
If you like your belly, if you like having just that bit more cushion, then feel free. Just some of us may prefer to have less of a belly. I would. But I know
I would as well.
Yeah, I'd like to go back down to I used to be 17 stone, and I'd like to go back to that. So about 2 stone. I would lose about 2 stone.
At the moment, I'm sort of restricted to doing exercising. There was actually a point where I've actually got the Wii Fit back out again. I'm actually using that to exercise. I'm not even kidding. I sweat so much with that, and it's ridiculous to think about. But I actually end up losing weight.
Sure, you got to give Wii Fit credit. Fit credit. It's actually
this is what I was going to say.
Surprisingly well.
And also, Hannah, yes, I am about 120 kilos. I am heavy. I am heavy.
I mean, I'm looking at hopefully moving out this year, and if things had gone well, it'd have been next month when I moved out. But obviously, the coronavirus.
Yeah, obviously.
Work. I'm going back to full-time work and stuff, and I should hopefully be moving out around October, November time now. So if that happens, that's great. But one thing I was thinking of doing was getting a Wii Fit board, because I thought that'd be exercise I can do in my own little space that nobody can see. I don't feel nervous about getting out of breath too quickly, and just doing it on Wii Fit. And I was actually looking forward to possibly doing that. And Huell's just grabbed his Wii Fit board or something, hasn't he?
No, I'm starting to clear out. I've got tons of old boxes of model stuff.
You have such a strange priority. The fact that we're in the middle of a podcast and you're just like,
no, that's not what I'm doing. I was just moving something because I kept kicking it, but then after I moved it, I kicked it, and then, I just wanted to move it because I thought I was going to knock it over. Sorry.
I just love being in conversations with both Evie and Huell, because this stuff happens every now and then, and I can't help but just laugh when it happens, because they bicker on like a married couple. It's so funny.
I mean, after knowing each other for 14 years, I think that's bound to happen.
Yeah, pretty much.
Exercising VR. I wish I could get a VR.
Exercising VR. Oh yeah, I
really want to do that.
Beat Saber.
my
I
PC
want to
is
get
now VR capable. I'm happy. It's now VR.
I want to get a VR at some point, just so I can play. What was it? Beat Saber, just so I can exercise.
That'd be great.
But also to go on VR chat and see friends and all that.
Unfortunately, I've still got old-fashioned Beat Saber here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I missed that game. Hold on, but there's a huge difference between being obese, overweight, and having a little belly. I'm not overweight, but I don't really exercise either, so I kind of bounce between beer belly and I eat a box of chicken wings.
I mean, if I look at you, every time I see you anyway, Lon, and I know there's large gaps between, but every time I see you, I'm not going to sit there and go, oh my god, he's fat, or he's got fat. I always look at you and go, oh, it's Liam. Like,
yeah.
I've never thought that when I see you.
The most I do when I see Latin is like, his hair's gotten longer. That's literally all I think of. It's like, his hair's gotten longer.
Yeah, pretty much. Bloody squid. Why he wants VR. Jesus Christ. Jesus.
That's what a lot of people. That's why VR. See, that's the thing. This is an interesting topic, right? We'll get back to the main topic very quickly, but it's what I like because this technology, things like Blu-ray, cassette, like video cassettes, they got popular and they got successful because of porn, and that's probably why VR is getting successful as well.
Squitty.
It's true. It's true. It's completely
Squitty,
true.
why do you need VR for it? I'm right here, babe.
It's like the thing is that I can confirm that is true because literally there was a point where someone told me about ERP on
Try again.
VR chat. There we go. I got there eventually. It started kicking my ass all of a sudden. Someone was like, "Do you do ERP?" I was like, "What the fuck is ERP?" And then when they told me about it, I was like, "No, I don't do that, and I don't want to come across it at all." Because I'm not even kidding. There was a point when I was in VR chat, and out of the blue, I was just chilling with chatting with random people, and then behind me, all of a sudden, I can hear someone moan like really loudly. And I was like, "Nope, I am getting out of here. I'm moving away." So yeah, that's definitely a thing, Huell, and you don't want to ever come across it at all.
They were probably furries. I'm not going to lie. You get those types.
Right, now we're going into another conversation. Here's a disclaimer.
Anyway,
here's a disclaimer that people's opinions are entirely their own and not necessarily the people who are representative of this program. There we go.
True. What was I? Yeah. So going back to the original topic I had, I'll tell you what. One of the main things nowadays especially, one of the main things that pushes me to think that I'm not particularly like good looking is honestly because I've lost. Thanks, Huell, for ruining it. I've been experiencing quite bad hair loss recently, and I'm quite self-conscious about it, and I hate the fact that I'm starting to
because when we were setting this up, you were desperately looking for that hat, and I just thought it's just because you fancied wearing a hat.
No, I do like the hat. I'm not going to lie. I also like the hat quite a lot.
Yeah, I didn't think it was due to.
But it also, yeah, because like I've got like on the back of my head, I almost have no hair.
I'm only wearing a hat because my hair gets really fluffy after when I've had a shower, and it gets ridiculously fluffy.
Oh, poor you have hair problems.
Yeah,
I don't like the fact how fluffy my hair gets. It sticks up. I literally had a bit at the back where it looked like a goddamn like tail of something, so that's why I was like, "Oh crap, I'm putting my hat on." I don't want people like saying, "Oh, you got a tail at the back there." For it. Anyway, yeah, I've actually had a fear of losing my hair a lot of the time. I have nightmares about it sometimes.
Does it run in your family?
Wake up in a cold sweat.
Does it run in your family? Is your dad bald? Uncles, granddads?
It does. It's not with my dad, but it is with two of my granddads. One, my granddad on my mum's side and my dad's side, but it's so far throughout the generations, it doesn't seem to be happening. So I'm not too worried, but at the same time, it's mostly paranoia that kicks in.
I mean,
it's
can
not
I offer you a cure? Ladies and gentlemen, estrogen.
No, fuck off.
It's a fantastic miracle cure. The only slight issue, you might also grow tits, but you know it's fine. Don't worry about it.
Hold on, I would just like to.
I don't need that to get those. I've already kind of got some here.
I would rather start to get grey hairs and start becoming a bit of a grey fox.
Yeah, I need to go
I'd much rather start getting grey hair.
I could do
I've actually started to get white hair.
My hair is perfectly brown. It's just leaving my head.
I'm actually getting white hairs here and there on my head. I've noticed since I've cut my hair, and then there was a point when my mum pointed it out to me, and I was like, you know what? And I'm sorry to say this, Huell, I actually prefer to go white than start losing it.
Yeah, same. I would rather, but my hair is still the same color as
I am dyeing my hair. I will never have a white hair on my head. Thank you very much.
Let's face it, like most of my hairs on my chin, as you can probably see, or may not be able to see. Can you see? Yeah, like most of my hairs are white in the middle of my chin. I don't know why. Most people say it.
Oh no, mine. Some of mine are, but that's just because they haven't filled out yet. My beard, my facial hair is weak. It's weak sauce, right? But I've got a little bit of ginger at the moment. So many guys look so good bald. Yeah, well, no, that's the thing. That's the thing. Shut up, Stace. That's the thing. That's the thing. My family, my family on both sides. Like my dad is lucky because my dad hasn't lost his hair, and he's 60 this year. That annoys me. Dad hasn't lost his hair, but I'm starting to at 20 freaking... Well, no, I started losing it properly when I was 22, 23. But, it's my uncles, my granddad's... my granddad on my mum's side, he did lose his hair, but he had more like a widow's peak kind of thing going on. But his hair stayed jet black throughout his life. But then... my mum's side of the family, they tend to keep their hair colour. Like my Uncle Ivan, my great Uncle Ivan, he's... in his 90s, or he might have died recently, I don't remember. But his hair, still in his 90s, jet black, does not dye his hair. My Auntie Shan. Auntie Shan. Yeah, Auntie Shan.
Sorry, the hell out of my hair. I'm telling you, I'm not going to have the same one.
Auntie Shan, right, she's like 67, 68 years old.
Yeah.
Jet black, dark brown hair. No trace of white. Same for my mum. She's almost 60. Has pretty much no grey hairs at all. Her hair is still dark brown.
I just want to go back through the chat because we are missing some. There's one stuff from Squitty. He said he's starting to grow his hair long. Maybe you should comment on that, Huell, because you used to have extraordinarily long hair.
My hair is to go down to here. Mine used super long hair.
I had long hair as well. Mine went down to my shoulders back when I was in sixth form. Yeah. And then I started to cut it back because once I started going into sixth form once I started getting to the end of sixth form and started college, I realised I probably might need to cut my hair a little bit more just in case because I wanted to do art and design, and I didn't want to have to end up tying my hair back every so often just so I can do a drawing. I like Larton's comment right here. I like you guys were talking about being conscious about how you look. I have serious beard envy. I hate it.
Dude, I can't grow facial hair at all.
Just keep. This is what I did. Just keep shaving it and let it grow out again. That's the trick.
By the way, that's not a real thing. I just want to point that out. No, shaving does not give you a bigger beard. It makes it feel more prickly. Therefore, makes it feel as if it's more.
I have a bit of ginger in my beard.
It seemed to work for me because every time I shaved it, it grew back a lot quicker. And growing more.
I think yours is just the fact that you can actually grow a beard.
Probably. I'm actually quite happy I can grow a beard because when I started growing facial hair, it was only here. Nowhere else, just here. So I had like a faint tash and it was so bad. I had to keep shaving it every now and then when I started, I think it was like year 10, I started growing a mustache and it was so weak. I was so embarrassed of it. I had to cut it down a bit at one point.
Hi, Iron Woman. Welcome to the stream.
Hello.
What else do we have? I'm just going through this because we've missed obviously a lot of chat as we're talking.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Liam. He said, speaking about opinions, I'm super proud of you, Huell and Ferret. You handled the BLM conversation super elegantly, and I had heart palpitations when Stace said that Ferret might have a differing opinion. I think it was just, I mean, we went through that anyways. It wasn't necessarily a different opinion. It was just worry over another thing that could have affected.
I was like, I'm sorry if I worried anyone about me having a differing opinion. I know we've already ended that topic, but it's mostly due to my frustration of how crazy it's going and the fact that people seem to be ignoring the whole pandemic, the coronavirus, and more people are getting ill from it because of it. That was mostly my concern. Like, I'm all for the whole Black Lives Matter. I'm all about equality. Anyone who says different about that, well, they
leave the stream.
They can do that. They can do that.
Duffy and Muffin. Hello, Duffy and Muffin.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're coming at an interesting time because we're actually talking about pretty serious things. We just keep like going down these random side roads.
And then we have to go back through the comments.
We have to swerve back onto the main road. Also, in terms of my long hair, this was me at 16.
There he is, sexy man.
Look at that hair. Look at that hair. That was me at 16.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Are you pouting in your picture as well?
No,
He's doing the old duck clips. He's just there, just doing the whole.
But like, also people keep telling me like my face has just not changed at all since I was that age. I'm 25 now. It's 9 years. Apparently,
the only thing that's changed about your face is the facial hair. That's literally the only thing that's changed.
A bit less puppy fat, I think. Apparently.
No, you've lost a lot of weight around your face. That's for sure.
Mm. Oh yeah, because my jaw is a lot. It's not. If I shaved, it'd still look kind of like this. It's a lot more defined than it used to be, which is quite nice. Like they're not having a.
Liam says having long hair is easy. You just use head and shoulders.
Yes.
True, actually. I'm not even
yes.
And a brush.
It differs when you.
Head and shoulders, a brush, you're good.
Liam
the thing is, it's annoying when you start going into work and you're working the registers and you're trying to have conversations with people at the register. The amount when I still had my fringe really long, I'm not even kidding. The amount of times I had to go and start talking to people was ridiculous.
The timing of that honk. Yeah, the timing of that honk as you were going ding.
I know. I was going to say.
Beautiful.
I was going to say what I used to do. Right, was this. Like a freaking shampoo advert, like that.
I used to do that way too often. I don't do it. There's points where I catch myself trying to move my fringe out of the face, and I'm like, wait, I don't have a fringe anymore.
I do that sometimes, like muscle memory, because I used to do it like that as well. So sometimes I'll do the thing where I have my finger like Simba over my forehead, just like, oh, I don't have long hair anymore. And then when I'm not wearing my glasses, when I'm in bed and stuff, and I'm not wearing my glasses, I'll just instinctively just go like that. To push my glasses back up my nose, but I'm not wearing my glasses.
With the second you said Simba, I just wanted to go, Simba.
you had Terminator 2 Edward Furlong hair? Oh, man. It's a shame we don't know what you look like. I gotta see this.
Hannah said before that so many guys look good bald, so don't worry about Huell.
Furlong. Yeah. I might need to look up who that is, sorry, because I'm terrible when it...
Have you not seen Terminator 2? Terminator 2 is John Connor. And also, if you're suffering with COVID-19,
Oh yeah, I saw that.
I've had neighbours,
much love to you. If you're on here, I'm guessing that the symptoms aren't too bad, and you've not had to be on a ventilator or something. So I hope it stays that way for you, and I hope that. But look on the bright side. If you do, and I hope that you do get through this perfectly fine. Immunity.
Immunity.
So,
yeah.
We'll be jealous of you then.
Someone at my work actually contracted the virus at one point.
Oh God.
Yeah, but apparently, after a week or so, they weren't showing any more symptoms, and now they're being allowed to be put on work. But the fact that someone that I know from my own workplace that actually contracted the virus, it made me go, no. But then once they said afterwards that they're doing okay, I was like, okay, that's fine. At least they're doing okay, but still, wow. But it's kind of to be expected, especially considering the place that I work at is in retail. It's like it's going to be very easy
on the precipice of I mean, I've got to wear a visor and gloves every time I walk in. It's just
but that's why I was been told by my manager that I have to stay home because considering I'm a high risk.
Hello, Doodle Green. My mum's a bit of a high risk as well. With who?
Hey,
just Colin.
Caitlin.
No, Caitlin's Doodlebug Rain.
Yeah,
Caitlin. Sorry.
Hey, Caitlin. Hope you're doing okay.
Mr. Frank. Yeah. For like going out and stuff, we have gloves and I have. Hold on. Let me take off my headphones. Let me just put them on so I can hear you.
While he's doing that, I just want to say if anybody is following or liking or sending donation stuff, I'm not going to see it because of how we've set up the stream. It's so that when we create the audio podcast, there's nothing that goes on top of it. But thank you if you are doing so.
Just look back at the clip that Lana did. That's brilliant.
I just want to go full screen on Huell for a minute there as he puts on his sexy.
There we go. There we go. I got a little face mask. My mum made this. Actually, she's making hats and face masks for the NHS.
Oh, fair play to her.
Yeah,
so nice.
There we go. It's space themed. Do you know what this is? This is my old. This is my old curtains from when I was a kid with the space theme on it.
Brilliant.
And I love it. So I was like, no, I got to have this one. Not even using screen names. Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, I'm kind of glad that I don't use my actual name because, honestly, people find it hard enough to pronounce or understand what my name is when I tell them. That Bumblebee's still alive, by the way. It's buzzing.
For God's sake.
Yeah, just in case anyone was wondering about that bee. The bee's fine.
You know what's going to happen? We're going to be like, we get to the end of the stream, we'll be like, oh, bye, everyone. And then like, probably Mark, I can see Mark doing it, just popping up going, just a quick update on the bee before you leave.
Huell isn't my name. No, Huell isn't my name.
His name's far too Welsh for streaming.
Oh, Hannah, you have no idea. I'm so easily distracted. It's ridiculous. Genuinely.
Probably half of us have had the virus without knowing. Yeah, that is true. Half of us might have already had the virus, which is crazy.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people that wouldn't be surprised if I did catch it and got rid of it over time. Because the amount of times that my mum and dad had to leave the house to go to the shop and then come back, I would not have been surprised if I actually caught it from them at one point.
So I mean, like, I have an entire process, and I know Huell's got it to some degree at his own home as well, because I remember when we had to give each other something. That was interesting. But like, if anything comes into the house, we wipe it all down. But me coming back from work is a whole. So I come back in from work, I have to empty my pockets on the side. We have a porch, so as you come into the porch, there's like a perfect space to do it. So we're not even in the house properly yet. I'm in the porch, and I have to empty all my pockets, wipe all the stuff down, and put anything that's valuable, like my purse and my phone, in the house. Whereas things like my visor and gloves and stuff like that will stay in the porch for when I go back out. They're the dirty things as such. I still have to wipe them down anyway. Then I have to come upstairs to the bathroom with a carrier bag. I strip off naked, put all my clothes in the carrier bag, go for a shower, then change, and then I can go and say hello to my parents.
Yeah. Well, we don't because I'm not working, or because none of us are working out in somewhere where there's a lot of people. We aren't that strict. So what we do is we come back on with gloves. We have gloves and stuff, and we take them off in the car after we're done, wherever we are. We don't touch anything in the car until we've taken the gloves off, and then when we get home with the shopping bags or whatever we're going to go, we take them all onto the kitchen floor and we wipe every single individual object from the bags. But we're not so strict. We're not so strict with clothing and everything like that because we don't. We do the social distancing thing. We don't come into contact with a lot of people. We keep our distance.
Unfortunately, it's not that easy for retail workers.
You don't have a choice. Yeah.
It's just people don't care. Like I care, I really do, and I'm trying everything I can. But if I'm out there stocking shelves or trying to sort out the temperatures, or because of the position I'm in as well, I've got to do some sort of admin work, which sometimes it requires me to be on the shop floor to do so. Yeah. And there's no two ways of me about that. And people just come right behind me. I had this one woman once, I was kneeling down trying to see how much of a certain item we had so I could report that to my boss. And as I was doing that, this woman literally squeezed behind me and said, "Oh, I'm just going to go past you, I won't breathe on you." And I thought, well, you've just said that.
You just said that, you breathe. You have to breathe.
Oh, I hate
people. Whilst you guys are continuing this conversation, I'm just going to pop to the loo real quick. Sorry, folks, I'll be back in a moment.
So it's okay when Luke does it.
Yeah, Germany has done very well with the COVID thing in comparison to, well, I think Britain's done badly anyway, but so it's just interesting to see how bad you got. And as to the other day, there are arrows on the ground, so many people here in Scotland aren't following the arrows. Yeah, that is an issue. I think the majority of people are following them around here, but we're still having some idiots who don't do that. And some people just don't use their brain. Yeah.
And there's a lot of people with like second homes and stuff that have come here.
Yes, that's the issue we're having. I actually spoke to a police officer the other day who said that we're getting such an influx of tourists. And it's worth mentioning to people who aren't fully aware of the situation in Wales in particular. Wales is still on full lockdown. We are the only country left in the United Kingdom now that is still practicing full lockdown. And that does mean that you cannot come from Britain to Wales to go to the fucking beach. No matter what anybody tells you, even though Boris has said it, it is still wrong. Because Mark Drayford is the person who says, yes, we're going out of lockdown or not in this country. And you will be fined coming into this country, and you will be sent home. So don't do it.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it. And if you do it, I will find you. And I will breathe on you.
Oh, God.
I don't have it. I don't have the virus.
But it'll make you think.
But I'll pretend that I do.
And then if the next day you have the virus, you'll be like, I bet it was him.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Germany has done amazingly, but the UK, England in particular, has had such bad regulations in place. The issue is England has now reached and gone past its peak. Where we are in Wales is actually just reaching its peak. So they're still very much going, yeah, let's just keep the borders closed. But they are sending all the kids back to schools. I think it's next week, isn't it?
Yeah, and opening like non-essential shops and stuff. I hope they don't open the game up because I do not want to go back to work yet. It's such a bad idea. Because the freaking customers, I don't care about what this does to my public image. I don't care if people find this. I don't give a shit. Freaking the idiots that we get in that shop.
It's every shop. It's just retail. There are plenty of videos.
Jesus Christ! In games, some of them like hygiene. Do people understand what hygiene is? Do they understand the concept?
I know what you mean, and this isn't in every shop. For some reason, there are some people in game who just don't understand what BO is, and it's
pisses me off.
I know exactly what you're on about there because I used to work in game as well, which is why I can.
We have the manager has like 3 bottles of air freshener just in case, and like they have bottles of Lynx ready for when these people have come in. One of them smells like. Hi, Luke. We're talking about people in BO in the game shop, but one of them. There's one dude that's literally a ball of a human with just a head. He literally is, right? If you saw the guy, he literally is, okay. And he walks in, right. Every time he comes in, he makes the entire shop stink of like stale ball sweat.
I've had that before in working in retail. I've had the odd person come in and I have to. Oh my god! The amount of times I've had someone walk in that really, really, really is in need of a good wash. Yeah. I've had to like serve them at the till. The amount of times I've had to go. And then every time I'm talking, I have to like try not. I'm straining myself, but every now and then when the customer looks away, I sort of do this thing where I go.
Sorry for your customer for me, because there are a couple of them that I do this with. But you'll know if I have an issue, if I've got a very itchy nose all of a sudden, I just keep going. And that's because I'm smelling my own hand because it's better than you. Like, just say like, yeah.
And also, no, they're not opening the schools in Wales. They are in England.
No, they are opening the schools in Wales.
Oh,
I'll find the thing for you now.
We're not even properly. We're just reaching the peak now, aren't we?
Mm.
Oh, for Christ's sake!
And here I thought that as lot in Wales were being the sensible folk, yet this happens. I saw that. I remember like seeing it on Facebook, and it was actually because one of my cousins actually posted it on Facebook saying, "Oh, was it like?" You're allowing us to take our children to school, yet you're not allowing us to actually leave our homes or go see that many people.
Good idea, right? By the way.
Yeah. It's just like, it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, BBC News, schools in Wales to reopen on the 29th of June.
Oh, Christ.
Yeah.
Schools are closed on the 29th of June, on the summer.
No, that's July.
Oh, fuck.
Nice try. They're going to school for a month.
It's too soon.
Thank you very quickly to Squid for all the sparks that you've sent me. That's very lovely of you.
But like the thing is, I think because obviously they are conservatives. What do they care about? Money and their rich friends. So why are they lifting the lockdown measures so quickly? Because the economy has taken a hit from this.
The obvious thing to point out,
to lose money.
No, I know. The obvious thing to point out though is that people aren't forced to send their kids to school. It is optional until it is back to a point where there is that issue with the fines. So I just saw Iron Woman saying that she's not going to send her kids back to school till September. Yeah, I think that's what most people are going to do. So don't worry about it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Jesus. Oh, that annoys me.
This changed into a really weird, because we started off talking about self-image, and now we got into coronavirus.
We went to coronavirus, yeah. Anyway, so I think I'm ugly and I'm going bald and I don't like it. That's basically.
I think you'd look good bald with a beard.
I probably, yeah.
I think you could work the whole bald Viking look. I reckon.
I mean, I'm
going to buy you a bald cap on Amazon. We need to see how this looks in the films.
Oh no! You don't have to. You don't have to. Hold on. There's a great picture of me and Garen. Hold on.
Okay.
On Facebook.
I'll set you to full screen so people can see it better.
Yeah. It's like, do you know those like monk like tonsures?
No worries, Squid. Thank you so much for joining in. If you want to watch more of the stream, it will be on YouTube, and we're hoping on podcast platforms as well, if I can get everything working the way it should.
Yeah, see you, Squid. Have a good one. Take care. Stay safe.
If I could grow up,
But having
I'd
said,
be
yeah, defo with a beard. Like if you were bald with a beard. I'm sorry you guys aren't seeing us at the moment. I'm waiting for Huell to put up his picture so you can see it full screen and nice and sexy.
Get a move on, Huell.
Yeah, we're waiting on you.
We got people waiting here. We got lovely people waiting here.
Shush, you bastard! I'm trying to go as quick as I can. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
No, it's not on my phone. Come on.
Yeah, I gotta do it now. Right?
Don't change the screen till he's ready. It's just pressure on you, Huell. Don't worry about it.
That cat whisperer.
You look like the cat whisperer, man.
Who's a cat whisperer, man?
Thanks again, Squid, for joining. See ya. But yeah, I am
have a good one.
I do think it's too risky to send them back to school at the moment. I think there might be a huge difference between now and September as well. So come September, it might be a lot easier to send them back to school. I don't know. I mean, nobody knows at the moment, but I do think it's a long period of time. Might work out. Jesus Christ, Huell. Like, people are getting bored of seeing your face at this point.
I don't know where it is. Shush. All right,
Let's go back to the multiple screens until he's actually found it.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, literally, as we're going to switch it, he's going to be like, I found it!
Yeah, I know. It'd be a pain.
I want that to happen. It was 2015. I remember this.
Okay, whilst we're waiting for Huell to find the picture, how's everyone else doing? How are you doing? What are you doing today? Did you have a nice morning? Have you eaten anything really delicious? Have you had a nice cuppa or anything like that? Tell us anything. Tell us about your day.
And while you're talking about that, if you want to talk to us about any more serious topics, just a reminder, you can send us an email at this email address here, and you can send out a question that we will possibly talk about on this show today. So feel free to send an email using an anonymous website if you'd rather keep it anonymous. We don't mind that at all. Or just make an anonymous email address. Whatever you feel like. And we will possibly talk about it, because so far we haven't got anything to talk about after this section. And we're just going to bullshit probably for the next hour.
Yeah, probably. I feel like if for the next stream that we do, I think we should probably put the actual email link somewhere at the bottom of the screen next time. So that way we don't have to keep posting it in the chat every now and then.
Yeah,
at least then it'll be on have it on display so that people can see.
Well, it's a possibility it's not going to be on my platform next time. It's going to be on its own platform. So, but yeah.
Fair enough. It's just a thought I had. Caitlin was saying I played Animal Crossing with my friend, got ready and working on a picture. I get a feeling I know what that picture is. You were teasing me about it the other day.
Hannah, you want a small vacation? No vacations. It's supposed to be lockdown. I don't know.
Come on, stay home.
What are you doing?
I think she needs a break from work, to be honest. That's probably what she means.
Jesus Christ,
Huell. I uploaded the damn freaking picture.
Jesus Christ, how long is it going to take you to take this fucking picture?
I'm just trying to remember where I posted because I wasn't tagged.
Even the dogs in the background are getting impatient. Come on.
They can hear you through my headphones just being absolute bitches.
God
like, no. Just wait. Hold on. I uploaded it, I think.
Also, I'm just going to say this now. Caitlin, if you're on Animal Crossing later, I'll probably join you. Because I haven't played on that for a hot second, actually.
Oh, okay. That made Iron Woman laugh. I'm proud of that. She's Canadian. Canada's not doing too bad with the coronavirus in comparison to us, I don't think. But then nobody's doing as bad as America. So
Canada, yeah. I've always wanted to go to Canada. Like I just want to make that known real quick. I really want to go to Canada.
Hannah's got it right. She's just on a boat. Like, she's like, fuck you, world, we're going away. Like, don't want anything to do with you.
I like boats.
If you go fishing, tell us what you catch. See if you get any big catches or something.
The angles are bad. You can't actually see.
Right,
like,
let's go. Leave it up for a bit. Leave it up.
I've seen that picture before.
I know what that is as well. That's the thing. That was you.
From?
No, that was me. It was for like a Welsh comedy show where it was a bus full of impersonators of Saint David.
Yeah.
All dressed as monks.
It was a thing. I remember it.
And it was a great wig because it was like the whole tantra thing. So like the wig had like it was like a bald cap, like plastic bowl thing on my head, so it looked like I was bald. It was hilarious. It was great.
And there you go. Now you know what you'd look like if you were bald as well, because you had that moment with just the bald cap.
I mean, partially bald. It's like if you had like the whatever you call it. I've forgotten what that
tonsure.
That's it, tonsure.
Yeah.
What's it?
Any releases you guys look forward to this year? Good question.
This year?
Yes.
Mafia 1. I'm looking forward to Mafia 1 HD remake.
I'm very story orientated, so tell me why. They ain't nothing but no, there's a game called Tell Me Why, which is the first ever AAA game that has a trans lead character in it. Which is amazing. But it's but it's made by the creators of Life is Strange, and I love their work and the story.
Right, but does that mean it's going to be a good game though? That's my question.
Oh gosh, yeah, it's Life is Strange. And secondly, there's the next chapter in the To the Moon trilogy that's coming out, which I can't wait for.
Oh yeah, you played that at some point, didn't you?
I forget that you and I don't see
one of the games that actually successfully made you cry, apparently.
Oh my god, yes. To the Moon and Life is Strange are the only games that have ever made me cry. Even
Also,
Walking Dead did.
I like the fact that me and Huell had two totally different reactions to when you said something about like a trans character. Like I was like,
trans character in a AAA game. It's a big moment.
Mine was like genuine interest. Just like,
ooh. As long as they're a good character. If she's there for the fact that she's transgender, I'm gonna hate it.
Okay, no. It's a he. It's a he to begin with, and like, yeah. The interesting bit is from the trailer is that you can see his mum loading a shotgun and turning it towards him, and literally the talk over it was he'd never let me. My mum would never let me be anything but her little girl.
Okay.
And that's all you see, and I'm just like,
well, I mean,
okay.
I mean, like, you and I have like different standards as to what makes a video game good to us. Because you're very story oriented. I'm very game. I like a story. Don't get me wrong. I love a good story, but I'm very gameplay oriented.
Walking Dead season 1 got to Mark. I get that because you had to kill him. But
yeah,
it didn't make me cry.
That did make me sad. That made me sad.
Didn't make me
he was
cry.
a great character, Lee. You absolutely, your lack of empathy. You're a sociopath. I'm kidding.
Life is Strange. All 3 games of Life is Strange they've ever made me cry.
Okay.
Just when they're at the end there, and she's like, "I'm always going to be with you." They're holding their hands.
Yeah, I'm gonna play it, and I know I'm gonna hate it. I just know.
It's not just me that likes it from our friend circle. You know that as a fact.
I know.
One of our friends likes it so much they've got it as a tattoo. Okay, I'm just saying.
I know. The fact that you like the new Star Wars makes me think you don't know what a good game.
Go Hannah!
Go Hannah! Actually, no. For once, no. Yes, because I have my problem because this time I like it because of the lore and story, because it ties into Clone Wars and stuff like that, and Rebels and the movies. That's why I like it. Gameplay wise, sometimes it's good. A lot of the times, it's not good. I will agree with you there.
Lawton, shut up. Lawton said, can't deal with Life is Strange. Chloe's the most annoying character ever. Jesus. I agree whole teenage sayings were horrible. They were just dreadful. I mean, Jesus Christ. Now you're totally stuck in the retro zone. Sad face.
It's freaking like Chloe. I've seen clips from the game. Chloe is an annoying character.
She's hella bad.
She is so annoying. She's so dumb. She's such a hypocrite.
There's reasons as to why she is the way she is. And
it
works well with the story.
There might be reasons why there's the way she is, but if she's an asshole, I'm not going to like her. It doesn't matter what her experiences are. If you have bad experiences and you come out of it still as an asshole, I don't care. Can
I just point out, when did this turn into a gaming podcast?
I don't, because Liam asked about releases that we...
Fuck you guys, I'm on my 3DS.
Literally the only thing I'm looking forward to at the moment is a DLC that's coming out for Minecraft Dungeons. That'll be coming out in July. And another thing that I'm looking forward to, which I don't even know when it's coming out, is Hytale. I'm really looking forward to that game. I've seen so much of it, but I'm still looking forward to it at the moment.
Sea of Thieves is on Steam. I'm trying to think. I still want to play Man in Medan.
That's all right.
What she done? What did she do? I missed that.
She was putting it like a little Eevee toy in front of the camera.
Okay, of course, yeah, Pokemon. No, well, what do you want to talk about for the next hour? He's got a point. Like, what else the hell are we going to freaking talk about?
Well,
really, at this point,
we were hoping to have an email from someone, possibly. If not, we were going to talk about a personal topic that had one of us, but we hadn't really got anything planned for this last section.
No.
Unfortunately.
This is like the first stream episode, whatever you want to call it.
I think it's gone fairly successful, which I'm quite happy about.
It's actually gone really good. I'm actually quite pleased with how much feedback we're getting from everyone, which we appreciate, by the way.
I have
feedback.
noticed Liam did put some creative feedback as well. If you want to do that, that's great. He had a fantastic point. He said maybe we should have clips of things like the Black Lives Matter and stuff to come up on screen.
That would actually.
Obviously, I had nothing sorted for today, so yeah. Thank you, Mark.
Yeah, we.
So yeah.
Yeah.
But thank you all, everybody, for joining, because like it's definitely shown that this is definitely a platform I want to carry on with.
I mean, we're saying all these things like we're about to say goodbye. You said 2 hours. We still have 25 minutes left.
I've got an idea of a controversial topic we can talk about, and it's something that irritates me to some degree as well. And this has actually been spurred on by the community that's sort of having a go as well, which is quite rare. The use of the LGBT flag in the NHS representation stuff. Here we go. I knew Huell would go for it. Go.
Well, no, people see it as like, oh, they're trying to take it away from us. It's like it's a rainbow. It's kind of, you don't own colours like that.
It's not a rainbow. That's number one. It's not a rainbow. The specific colours on here are not the exact same as the rainbow. That's point number one. Okay.
So they're using those specific colours.
Yes.
Right.
The reason they have an issue with it is, and I've already had this, and it's pissed me off.
Yeah.
It's difficult to show on stream. I keep trying to show. I have got a rainbow heart tattoo on my arm, and when I've been at work, I've already had someone come up to me, seen the tattoo, and gone, "Oh gosh, you must have gotten that for the NHS workers." And I'm like, "No, I didn't get it for the NHS workers." But then I feel bad for saying that because obviously,
I was there when you got that tattoo as well.
But then I feel bad saying that because like. As well, you know, I don't have a problem with the NHS like being looked at.
You can't. It's for LGBTQ. It's not.
You can't blame the government using those colours for the public's ignorance of why you have that thing. But again, I can kind of get it that you say like I don't think they were purposely. I don't think they were purposely trying to take away significance of
I
like
agree
the
with
new.
you there. It's just, it will take away from significance of it. That's the issue. So post all this goes off, everybody's going to see an LGBT flag. And whereas before it went somewhere, perhaps a place of safety for people who are LGBT and finding it difficult, or it just showed that people were standing by them and things like that. Now it's just going to be like, well, does that mean...
Oh, you used to be a doctor then.
Yeah. And it's...
Don't know why I did that weird cartoon Looney Tunes voice.
And I know there's so many people who are already going to get rainbow tattoos following the coronavirus because they themselves might have had coronavirus, or their family has, or they know someone and the NHS helped them out so much. And gosh, please do. I'm not saying not to, but just bear in mind it might subtract from the LGBTQ community, and we might find it a bit more difficult to find the representation we need.
Honestly, in terms of like appropriating the brand, I just don't think they had a massive graphic design budget, and they had this incompetent little guy called Steve that had to do it in like 5 minutes because I don't know. I don't think they did it on purpose. It is probably insensitive. It's blame Steve, exactly. Blame the guy called Steve.
The rainbow itself
the
rainbow itself and the actual rainbow colours is such a brilliant symbol because it means unity. And I love that the NHS are using it at the moment. It's a way to say that we're all together with you and we're all trying to help through this, and we'll see the light after the rainbow and all that. It's fantastic. But let's not forget about the LGBT flag and the significance of it and the amount of protests and fights and people who have been murdered over that flag.
Yeah.
We should be streaming again now. Hello, peoples.
Oh.
Sorry, my power went out for a second, and it was disgusting. And then my computer jammed for a minute, and it wasn't, I was only supposed to stream for 2 hours, and we're nearly at 2 hours, but now I feel like I owe you guys an extra half hour or something. Just to sort of go, well, this is the post-show.
Yeah. Let's just talk after dark.
Let's just talk after my computer goes dark and the whole bloody... Fudge sakes.
So I just want to address a little comment that Larton's said.
Okay, I can't see back up now, but yeah.
What was it? It's like no. Be daft. Be a daft little pod. And I'm just thinking,
Jesus Christ!
Don't bring up the past. For those who don't get the joke, there was a point where back when me, Evie, and Huell used to record stuff together a lot more. There was a thing where they had their Teamworks channel, and I had a channel called the Daft Pod Productions.
That's because our team works.
Works.
Sorry, Daft Pop Productions was originally supposed to be podcast related, which then led on to gaming, ironically enough.
Just,
We do.
with podcasts.
Yeah. No, yeah.
So yeah, I'm hoping that the previous stream did actually record properly with the power cut. If
I
it,
really hope so.
if
might
it
be
did,
two separate.
there's a chance this will not be in the audio podcast because of stitching and stuff. It might be, it might not be. Depends how it turns out.
Oh,
Hey,
So-
Foxy.
This
A
is
mate of
our
mine,
secret conversation now. This conversation sticks between us live people.
Hey, Foxy. Thanks for joining the stream. For you guys, Foxy's a mate of mine and
Awesome.
and Caitlin's.
So, seeing as this is the non-recorded version, does anybody, we keep saying that if anybody has their issues, they want to talk about something, send us an email to be anonymous. Is there anything anybody wants to just say out in chat? Anything you want us to talk about? Just
yeah, please do.
go ahead. That'd be great. But yeah, thank you for joining, Foxy. And thank you for people for staying on after the power cut.
yeah.
I'm very surprised.
Yeah.
I got on as quick as I could because it was more just a power on and off kind of thing, not a full
Yeah.
power cut. So, whew. But yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
For staying on.
yeah. The thing is, the only reason I knew that the stream started going was that it went offline for a moment and then came back on and then went offline again. I was like, oh, what's happening? And then Huell was like, wait, as TV started talking all of a sudden, and I was like,
She's frozen.
and then the entire thing went off, and then all we can see from Evie was power cuts, a sad face. I was
Yeah,
like,
just sent a
no!
message. I was like, no. You're good without talking, not taking that chance. I mean, I'm not asking you guys to join our call during a conversation. I'm saying if you want to put a message out that says,
Yeah, just
my life sucks and this is why, then we will happily talk about it.
I mean, I don't think either me or Luke has to say anything else because that's really Stacey's thing. Do you want to rant about gay pride for about 20 minutes?
I knew you both were actually talking about NH. Oh no, actually, there was a thing I wanted to say before the power cut went out.
Yeah, go.
When you were discussing about like the NHS thing, it reminded me of this thing that actually me and Caitlin did at one point. She started drawing these images. I don't know if either of you follow her on Twitter at all.
No, I'm sorry. I probably do, but I don't
do
look
the
at
brain.
Twitter a lot.
There was a point where she started doing these drawings for the NHS and all that of like Pokemon characters and stuff, like encouraging people to like support NHS and stay home, wash hands, etc., etc. To the point where she encouraged me to do it for like Minecraft stuff. So I ended up like drawing like 4 images of one to support NHS, one to support like frontline workers, and like one to say stay at home and stuff. I don't know if I should probably put. I don't know if this is coming off as like self-advertising or anything like that, but for those who,
I mean, we are
I'll probably
self-advertising
post-
anyway. You can see all our links
True,
are in
true,
our individual
true.
cameras.
for those who don't know what I'm on about, I'll post a link of what I posted at one point if I can actually find it.
Evie, why do you like Evie? Because she's cute.
Yeah, Evie's cute. What are you on?
Oh, hold on, Liam. Tell everybody why Evie sucks. State why she
Shut
sucks.
up!
With,
It's because I'm
Evie.
okay. The reason he doesn't like it is because I'm Everstone Eevee, and the point of Eevee, the literal point of this Pokemon even existing, is that it evolves, which is why it's called an EV. But I like to give it an Everstone, and I have done that in several games, just so it doesn't evolve, because it's me, and I like to do stuff like that. And I think Eevee's cool. Don't change Eevee. He doesn't need to be changed. He's beautiful. He's fine.
Liam, tell everybody.
And there we go, you enjoy Umbreon, where we all have our own vices, and the only correct one is Eevee, obviously, but, you have whatever you want. Yeah, it's Goth Eevee's Umbreon, that makes sense.
Am I looking at the right dual bug ring?
Is there more than one?
There we go. Found it.
There we go.
For those who don't know what I'm talking about, this is what I did at one point. I'm not sure whether to. Why have you put me on full screen?
I thought you were going to show something.
No, I was posting it on. I was posting the actual tweet in the chat so people could look at it.
Never mind then.
People aren't going to be able to see, see
yeah.
my images like thing. But I'm not going to take full credit for coming up with that idea. DW Rain actually gave me the inspiration to do that, and she encouraged me to do it, so I went ahead and do it. I think in that I've actually plugged her into that actual tweet. So if you want to check her out as well, go for it.
Yeah, she's good.
Caitlin, if you're still watching, you're welcome. Get you more followers.
She's good people.
I like things not Pokemon because I don't watch it. I'll play it.
No, I mean I don't. I'm not particularly a Pokemon fan either, but it is what it is. To each their own.
I like Batman the animated series animation.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, but I didn't do like NHS stuff based on the Batman. That's like
it's okay. He's too busy in the protests in America at the moment.
Well, speaking about the LGBT and Batman, anybody seen the new Harley Quinn?
I still haven't.
I've seen some clips of the actual new Harley Quinn, and it does actually look. It looks really good, from what I can tell.
And she's a lesbian now. Anyway,
I thought she was for a while anyway. Before that show as well.
It was suggested with like her interactions with Poison Ivy and stuff.
Oh yeah, it's not suggested anymore.
It's not suggested. No, that ship has sailed.
Yeah, no,
for a long time. For a long time, it was hinted at, but now, I can imagine.
It's such a good little thing. You can tell we've run out of topics because we're like slowly. I just feel like I owe you guys something now because you stayed post power cut, which is just.
What's Espeon? Is Espeon or Sylveon? Is that?
Espeon is my favorite EV evolution. I actually have one. It's the psychic EV, and Sylveon is the fairy one, and it just looks so cute.
Which, from what I can remember, some people actually had a problem with that one's design.
Damn it! My microphone won't pick it up loud enough. No.
I could hear it. I could hear it for a moment. I like them. Cute. I just got
Liam, you don't grow an attachment with your Pokemon. You are that Pokemon trainer that you see others.
Utilitarian. I admire that. It's a video game. It's useful. Saying that though, I did get very attached to my horse that I caught in Red Dead Redemption 2, even though they were better horses.
Like, I think it was on Dorkly where there was just this trainer who was just like
real and it behaves real.
It was just like killing everyone, and he had this Pokemon, and he'd grown up this Pokemon, and then he went, "Hang on, that's a Charizard. Fuck you!" And just grabs the Charizard and like just goes for the best stats, and I'm like, "Nah, I don't care about." Yeah, you're a Gary. That's it.
It is a Gary.
You're a Gary.
Lon replies, "Bitch, please." I give
all nicknames are plain Nuzlocke. Dude, I'm doing Nuzlocke challenge on stream, so there we go. Jesus,
what's the stream turned into?
It's turned into us trying to have some sort of thing, so I don't feel bad for having a power cut. That's all it is.
Honest, I like it when podcasts come to that point where we start just talking about random stuff and it just leads on to like story time telling thing. I love doing that.
Message me if you have a 3DS, then you don't actually need a capture card for it, and you can actually capture it onto your screen. Just message me and I'll explain it all for you.
Also, much rather be a pro Gary than a simp Ash.
Hannah, same. Arthur was a good man.
Arthur was a good man. Arthur was a kind man.
Arthur was a good man.
Arthur got shot in the head.
No, that depends, actually. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, Red Dead Redemption 2 is actually such a beautiful story. You two are going to have no clue what we're talking about now, so this is my time to shine.
Not intending to. You like a Jigglypuff. There we go, Mark.
It does. Like, I'm glad that Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2 actually had proper redemptions, and 2 even more so. It's such a good story. It's such a good game, such a good story. It genuinely is.
When did this turn into a gaming podcast?
I don't know, because I don't know.
That was not the intention of it.
Well, nobody's emailed in about like stuff that they want to talk about. So I guess
that's not really a bad thing.
This is what the chat wants to talk about. All right, please, the masses.
To be fair, I think this is probably a good thing that we're doing this because it sort of eases away from all the tension at the start. Which I think we should probably do that in like future shows where we talk about serious stuff. It's a lot of tension, and then sort of chill away from that to more chilled out talking and more chilled out topical stuff.
I know there's loads of reds, lots of deads, and lots of redemptions too. It's perfect. It's perfect. The perfect title. It contains everything. Everything in the game is on the title. Talk about Keemstar.
Hey.
I don't know a thing. Hello. Hey. Oh, hello.
Oh my God, it's Freddy.
God, we haven't heard from you for a long time. How long's it been? What day
Hannah.
is it?
I know that email address is free for anybody to use and send me whatever, so feel free. Here's the email again.
So anyway, I just started blasting. Sorry.
Blast.
Hold on. What did I say? Talk about Keemstar. Do you know what? If I paid attention to it, I would, but I haven't, because honestly, I don't give a crap about either of them anymore. I used to follow H3H3, but Ethan is a freaking tool nowadays. Oh my God.
Anymore.
It's YouTube stuff. It's YouTube stuff, and it's people.
Let him run. Don't worry, just let him run.
Well, no, I just don't know anything about it, so I have nothing to rant about, because I just don't like Ethan, because his podcasts are terrible. His H3H3 podcast is terrible because it's like he has a list of questions on a paper. He can't carry a conversation. He's awful. He can't do it. He's terrible.
But you know why it's terrible, Huell? Because it's not ours.
True. It's not us. It's true. They're both idiots. Yeah, because Keemstar's a massive asshole as well. Why do you put me on center screen and shut my freaking
You wanted to
camera?
rant, so I just wanted to give you a chance to rant.
Don't single me out like that.
Don't put me in the spotlight. How dare you?
Yeah, no, like if you watch H3H3 podcast with Bill Burr, you'll notice how really bad Ethan Klein is at it.
I don't even know who they are, so I'm probably in the clear, and it's probably a good thing that I don't know who they are.
Just gonna
Bill
put this
Burr
there.
is like one of my favorite comedians of all time.
Don't
Bill
need to
Burr's
look
one
at
of my
me. I'm not part of this conversation anymore.
What are you doing?
I'm not part of the conversation either. Like, I wasn't a part of the conversation when you were talking about the whole LGBTQ and the NHS. I was literally stood, sat in my seat, just going.
Well, like really, like in terms of like my understanding of those kind of situations, I really shouldn't be saying anything because I don't really know. I don't understand. You know, H3H3 versus Keemstar is a hot mess, and it's dumb and it's super funny. I will catch up with it eventually, but I really don't care. They're both stupid. Keemstar has always been an asshole.
We need to get Ferret and Enderman helmet mask.
I mean, I've already got my mask.
I'm not even going to lie. I actually have an Enderman cardboard head. I think I do actually. I know what it is as well. It's behind this thing, I think. Or did I put it away? Yeah, I put it away. Never mind.
Ladies and gentlemen, what's in your house?
Maybe for next stream, I'll make sure to get the box head cut out and wear it for a moment. But I did actually. Funnily enough, I actually and Caitlin will find this funny. I actually got the Enderman cardboard cutout head whilst I was in Edinburgh when I was visiting to go see her the first time.
First the bee, now the miss. Oh yeah, Huell, how's the bee doing? We haven't had a bee update. I haven't had a bee update for a while.
Right, let's check the bee. Bee Arthur, I'll call it bee.
Jesus, don't kill it. Yeah.
Don't kill it.
Oh, he's still here. Are you okay? What's wrong? Why are you still here?
Are you drunk? Do you need to?
Yeah, do you need a little help?
Are you drunk? Do you need him to call you a bee taxi or a bee cab?
Yeah.
A bee cab.
To come and pick you up.
Bee cab. We need to find out of a bee cab.
I'm actually going to try and get him out.
Hug the bees, kill the wasp, spur the hornets.
In the chat, draw a bee cab. Let's go. Let's get the community involved even further. Bee cab, draw it now. Go shoot.
He's got a paper out. He's going
that
for this.
Huell helping out an injured bee. Go for it.
Yeah.
We need that fan art. Come on, let's go. Let's
got
go.
a glass. He's got a piece of paper. He's going for this.
Yeah, I'm going to try it. I don't know, he's sitting on the cable. It's really hard to get to him. You know?
Wait, he's sat on what?
He's on a little... I've got a couple of cables on my windowsill, and I was wondering how I'm going to get him on there.
He's probably hiding away from you.
No, he's not hiding away from me, because he knows I can see him. Like, you can definitely tell.
Let us know if he waves at you. Or she. I'm not going to
No. Bees waving at you is not a good thing.
Oh, don't worry about the restream bot, Freddy. I've got restream which sends the stream out to multiple platforms, so DLive, Twitch, Mixer, and YouTube, and it's just a little bot that helps organise all that.
It's Barry B. Benson at this.
Hannah says I send my email.
Oh,
Will we have time? Will we have time to read it out, or should we
no,
save it for the next?
She sent a picture.
He's very attached to his cable.
Okay, that is the stupidest use of a mask I've ever seen in my life. I will actually show you guys this email, but I just need to make sure I don't send Hannah's email address out, because that would be bad.
Yes, that would be very bad.
I'll see if I can just put the image on the stream.
No, you're not. I'm not going to pass to him. He's waving.
Mark's asking, how tall is Huell? You're about 6 foot, aren't you?
6'4".
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not that much tall. Well, you're not that much taller than I am. Because I'm like,
I'm way taller than you.
I remember way taller than me. I can still talk to you eye level.
Hannah just sent me
I remember
this.
standing next to you. I am a lot taller than you than you think.
Hannah just sent me this image.
Much taller than me.
Oh my god.
Which is brilliant use of a face mask. Well done.
Wow.
That's the thing.
Well, okay.
So thank you, Hannah.
He's old, bless him.
It's like the amount of people I see who wear face masks and then just put it underneath their nose, and I'm like, well done. Like this is something I need to write about. So actually, I can get an image of this. Keep talking, keep people distracted, and I'm going to get an image.
That mask. Mark says that mask would work for game employees. Fight the smell.
Oh, that'll be very.
He says, speaking of heights, anyone heard about the Eddie Hall versus?
Oh, that's going to be a terrible fight because neither of them are trained for this. They're both weightlifters, aren't they? Neither of them know how to fight. None of them have been trained for fighting properly. They're going to run out of stamina immediately. The fight is going to be so boring.
Okay,
they're not.
I don't really look that much into fighting, to be honest. It's not really my thing.
So the image I was going to put up, right? So when the pandemic started, I work in a petrol station, so we are a necessity. We're key workers and all that shit. And they put up these screens over the tills, which you can see on stream now, which are fantastic ideas. You know, they stop us from having that contact and stuff like that. The only problem is the amount of people who've come up to us and gone, "Oh, it's hard to hear through that, isn't it?" Like, yeah, you should drill some holes right here. Fucking Jesus H.
It
Christ.
literally defeats the purpose of what they're up there for.
Yeah,
folks.
and you wouldn't believe how many people have said it. It's crazy.
Well, obviously, a lot of people don't have common sense when it comes to this sort of stuff, then, do they?
Jesus.
as sad as it is to say. Freddie says, Huell, you haven't seen any of the training or old swearing videos then?
You're right, I haven't, actually.
Hannah, let's drill holes in
the
face masks. Yeah, let's go for it.
I have
Come on,
to.
I've seen a video.
I need to breathe better.
Come on, let's do this.
Needs to breathe better, that's all it was. So I had some holes in my face mask. It makes sense.
I would like. You know what, Foxy has a good point. I would like to see actual heavyweight boxers take on one of those because I feel like they would do a lot better. But again, it might be an unfair competition because obviously as strongmen they train more for that than they have for boxing. What are you doing, Stacey?
I don't know anything about boxing. That's
she's pretending. She's pretending. No, this is what she's doing. She's pretending that she's in those beat 'em up bots.
Oh, Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I still want to. Eventually, I would love to get one of those just for the sake of saying, you know what, I own that board game.
All right, I'll see you. We'll see you later, Lon. We hope to see you again on the show. Hopefully, you might even be a guest.
Yeah,
I think we are at a point where we can actually finally wrap this up.
Really? Cool.
Yeah. So thank you, absolutely everybody, for watching. We will be trying to get another guest on every month. It's monthly.
Yeah, I was going to say not every week. We do every week.
No, it's monthly because of people's time schedules and being able to fit in with each other and stuff like that. So if you are interested in being the show, the only thing you have to do is be part of the Outhouse Discord, and then contact either myself or Ferret, whoever you prefer.
Should we put a link
obviously.
Yes, put a link for that?
I have got a link for it. Discord.
Yeah, I'll post a link in there for you now.
Yeah. So feel free to join that, and you'll be able to ask to come onto the show and have your face here where Huell is. Obviously, if you want to send us any questions, anything that you want us to read out and talk about your own life problems, then that is possible as well. There's the email again for you to do it. Thanks, everybody, for joining. Thank you, Huell, for being our first guest.
Yes, thank you.
Huell. Thank you.
You were a delight, especially when you were checking on that bee every now and then.
Yeah. Be Huell.
Oh, by the way, we need a bee update.
He's
The
still
final
there.
bee update.
Every time I get close to him, he starts going like this, which means get away from me. So I'm not going to touch him. I'm going to leave him be.
Okay, you're going to leave him be.
Leave him be.
Leave him be.
And on that shitty pun, I will call it the end. Goodbye, everyone.
It wasn't meant to be a pun, but okay.
See ya.
Say bye, Huell. Say bye, Huell.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
See you, folks. Thanks for joining us.
And we're off.
Yeah.